But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. So whether I'm present or absent, the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam must call our scientists. Come and let's sit down. Our virologists, our epidemiologists, those of us who know the science. We cannot let them bring anything to us that we don't dissect.
And we still ain't letting them bring anything to us that we are not willing to dissect, because we love it.
That's it. That was it, Brother Loud. And by the way, I was frozen at some point and probably still am frozen. Who knows?
You good to go right now?
You're good. Yeah, you're good to go.
Right? The hostess of the Moses is free. You're free.
I'm back. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings. Good evening. Oh, we missed you last week, me and Sister Kalila, but we
Yes.
It was a man thing last week. We just let it go.
No, it was a minister thing last week. It was
a minister thing last week.
For those of y'all who missed last week, go back and get that minister thing.
Listen, and I listened in, and it was one of the good ones. Well, they're all good, but that particular one was hit right to the spot. Let me clarify that. They're all good. Anyway, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you. We got a good show this evening. So, before we even get started, you know what we do, Brother Loud. We need you to do what?
Go get your people.
That's right.
Oh,
right now. Look,
not later.
Look, some of y'all gonna be mad. I gotta tell them, Sister Michelle. Some of y'all are going to be so mad that you didn't go get your peoples, especially when they try to give you a headache because you're trying to solve some life problems, maybe through mathematics. I ain't saying nothing else, but I'm just saying y'all better go get your peoples. Go get them.
Go get them. Go get them. And then like and share. Okay, like and share. We're on Facebook because you see us, right? Okay, we live on Facebook, and then we on YouTube too. So if they don't like Facebook, they can see us on YouTube. So like and share. You'll save a life. You may save your own, right? It's really all about life-giving information, and that's what we try to do every Thursday, is bring you something that'll feed your spirit and soul and your mind, and again, save your life in so many different ways. So I am your sister Michelle.
The hostess with the mostest. Y'all give us some love. Come on, y'all got to get a hostess with the mostest some love. Right? I know how it is. Brother Tony, give Sister Michelle. We're giving the hostess some love. Come on.
Yes, absolutely.
You always give her love.
Back.
You always give her love. I'm not doing the whole thing with the hands.
And either way, Brother Tony, we are just welcoming everybody in. We told everybody to like and share. I'm going to hand it over to my brother Loud because that's how we do. We do our rounds. But I just want to thank everybody for joining, and stay with us because we absolutely have a powerful show. Sons or daughters, an important topic. I won't get into
heavy hitter alert. Heavy hitter alert.
Exactly. So you just got to tune in and be a part of the conversation. So anyway, Brother Lau, I'm going to hand it over.
I got it. Yep. And we're still running. We are. Praise be to Allah. You know how we like to say, family. Assalamu alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Praise the Lord to my Christian brothers and sisters. Gawa Black Power to you Black revolutionaries, and to all you peace, freedom, and loving people out there. Peace and blessings, and welcome to another Thursday night talk. You already heard the heavy hitter alert. That's an alert. That means you're going to get an opportunity tonight to have an experience, but go get your peoples. Get your peoples. And so welcome again to another powerful program and experience. And, for those of you who ask, well, what is the 7th Region Coalition? We just want to liken ourselves. Think about a lighthouse, family, right? I mean, well, first of all, think about a people that's going through some hard times, treacherous times, but going across some dark waters on a ship. But there's a guiding light. And that guiding light will allow the shift, even though it's a bumpy ride. Y'all know it's a bumpy ride. All right, stick around if you don't think so. But we like to liken ourselves to a lighthouse of information and inspiration, all with the sole purpose of helping to save lives. And I'm telling you, tonight's topic is so timely, but we'll figure that out once we get into it. I'm just going to tell you once again, heavy hitter alert, go get your peoples. And let's bring on our beloved sister right now, Sister Khalila Muhammad.
First of all, I want to first start off in the most holy name of Allah, always bearing witness that there is no God but Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet my sisters and brothers in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum, and my Christian sisters like Sister Kim, who just joined us. Hallelujah, Kim. Come on through, Kim. I just want right. I just want to, first of all, I missed you all so much. I felt like it's been tons and tons and tons of days that I've been gone, but I've only been gone just one show. Just one show, right? But right. I'm glad that I'm on this show because the reason that I was not able to join the show last week was my cousin got shot and killed by, we don't even know who. He was just going to a party. He graduated from high school, and he got killed a day after his graduation. This topic is very near and dear to me because our boys are dying. I'm tired of seeing the news. They're treating our boys like these animals. They think that, oh, this man, my cousin was not by far a man. He was a boy trying to live. And he just went to one party that caused his life. He had very high hopes. He was actually had a full ride scholarship, football scholarship. So he was like 19 days away from going to college. And he went to a party, a graduation party, and lost his life. This is why this topic to me is near and dear. And I know our brother who's been on the scene forever, his rostrum is a heavyweight rostrum. And I'm so looking forward to hearing from him because he has the plan through the plan maker. And that's the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm ready to get started. And I don't want this to be I don't cry for everybody. But I want this to be.
Hey, look, before you pass to Brother Tony, though, that real talk you just shared, people know it's real because, number one, may Allah be pleased with his soul, but multiply it by the hundreds and thousands.
Right.
This same year. So thank you there, sister, and we're going to set it right.
Yes.
You're all right.
And again, right now, we're here for answers. We're not here to talk about the problems. We're here to talk about the solution. And that's what the 7th Region Coalition is. We're a solution-based coalition that's striving, not trying, but striving to save lives each and every day. And without further ado, I'm going to pass the baton to my dear brother. See, you better take the baton, Brother Tony.
Gotta get the baton, brother.
Let me begin properly. In the name of the one God who bears many names, some know him as Jah, others know him as Jehovah, some know him as Dios, some know him as Bon Dieu, some know him as Alobdumare, some know him as Onkolo Kunkulo, some know him as the great wind of the great spirit. I bear witness to his oneness, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I bear witness to the wonderful example that he raised from among us, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I thank them both for the excellent and awesome example in our midst today. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Once again, Assalamu alaikum, which means, of course, peace be unto you. And of course, in whatever language you speak, family, buenos dias, sac passe, peace and blessings. If you want to say grand rising, free the land, whatever greeting you greet your people with, I greet you with that greeting right now. But this is a very critical topic, dear family. Brother Lyle, I will remember in the 80s and the 90s, an excellent brother, wonderful brother by the name of Juanza Kanjufu came out with a series of books called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. Well, we are still fighting that conspiracy today. And so in the classroom, this is very near and dear to me also, Sister Kalila, as I experience this conspiracy constantly in the classroom, when I'm in the community and I see the condition of our young people, especially our Black boys, our Latino boys, Native American boys, young men who are suffering, don't know what their aim and purpose is in life, but it takes a great teaching to redirect them so that they could see themselves and know what their aim and purpose in life is. That is our work today. And as a member of the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives, as a member of the Nation of Islam, I'm very thankful to Allah to participate in this mission to help redirect our young people and redirect our people into a teaching that is meant to save lives. I thank Allah for our student regional minister, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad, who has brought us together on this mission under the direction of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I'm just gonna pause it right there, Brother Lyle and Sister Michelle.
All right, but hey, you pausing it, but the rest of y'all better not be pausing it. You better go and get your people. Do they see the title? Do they see the title up here? It says "Save Our Sons." Go ahead and act like you ain't got no buck wild loose boys that don't need to be saved. But I'm not gonna say that.
I got three. I got three, but loud. The same. One crazy. No.
Beautiful. Right. You know, and so look, the beautiful thing with the way everything was just laid out, family. You know, but we gotta rewind just a minute, because you know we have that hidden, unseen 7th Region Coalition team that does so much behind the scenes, and we just want to give them some love, man, and thank them for each and everything that they do. And with that being said, you know, I know they're getting ready. We got a special guest, right?
Come on now.
Before we bring our brother up from what we call the dugout, before we bring him up, now you all know Sister Michelle, she usually reads the bio of these powerful brothers and sisters that we bring to you each and every week, right? You know, but Sister Michelle, because you know I was doing my research and stuff, right? And I gotta be honest. Can I keep it 100 with you? Right?
Yes, sir.
I don't think you need to read the bio tonight. You know why?
No. Okay.
Because I found a video that represents the perfect bio, right?
Okay.
Brother might get mad at this, right? Because I got to be real with you, right? And it's not a lot of people can basically speak clearly their own bio. But I guess it's as easy as mathematics to this brother we're about to bring before you. And so what I'd like to do is introduction first by way of, yes, you heard it right here historically. First of all, reading his own bio, all right? You know, there's all kinds of doctors, right? There's all kinds of doctors, right or wrong.
Right.
Yes, sir. You're right. You
even got a Dr. J in basketball, right?
That's
you got all these other kind of doctors.
That's right.
But we have the math doctor. And so for those of you, did you all hear those words we just put together? Math doctor.
Mm.
I bet you're going to get your peoples right now, huh? You know,
we all need a math doctor, by the way.
I'm gonna share my screen, and I need one of my folks. As soon as you hear our brother finish reading this, or I want you to bring him up on the screen, and so that we can be super clear. Why is it not here? See, that always happens when you get ready to do it. Huh? You might be reading the file.
I'm here as a backup. Just know I'm here. I'm here, brother.
You know what? I got it. All right,
that's it.
Now all I gotta do.
It's a little pressure.
Yeah, look, that's all we need. That's all we need, right? You know. All right. So, family, without further, I want to present to you right now.
Voila.
What did I do?
You brought us up on the screen, brother.
I did that. So we're gonna stop sharing, right? That was just to let people go get their people for real. But I got it now, family. Now, I want to thank you for bearing with your brother through this used to be technical difficulty, but we got it now. And here is our tab. And we are finally ready for this beautiful introduction.
This mathematical theology was taught to us by the most honorable Elijah, also known as the Math Doctor. I welcome you to this introduction of this powerful course entitled The Mathematical Theology and the Power and Science of the Number One. I have been a high school math teacher for the past 25 years at Muhammad University of Islam, as well as in the past 10 years, a mathematics professor at Malcolm X College. I have been teaching mathematics to high school and post-secondary students in a manner to get them inspired and motivated to become masters in mathematics. I also have gone all over the country in different cities giving workshops and lectures to parents, students, as well as teachers on how to properly teach mathematics to Black students, Hispanic students, and any students of color. I am a publisher and author of several books, in particular one which is entitled How to Teach Math to Black Students, a publisher and author of this book here, 12 Inches Makes a Ruler, The Meaning of the Number 12. A lot of the foundation and basis of this course will be extracted out of this book that I've written on 12 Inches Makes a Ruler, where we go into the mathematical theology and some of the objectives that we have in this introductory course. So it is with great excitement and pleasure that I appeal to you to take this course, enroll in this powerful, mind-stimulating course that's going to help us understand the mathematical theology and the power and science of the number one.
And with that being said, brothers and sisters, we want to present to you at this time our beloved brother, the doctor in the house, math doctor himself, beloved brother Shaheed Muhammad. Give him a 7th greeting.
Praise be to Allah. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the most merciful, I bear witness there's no God but Allah, and I bear witness Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Man, I was just sitting in the back, just enjoying. You all could have just kept going. You didn't even have to bring me in. I was enjoying your spirit, enjoying your animation. You all have a beautiful program, and I just love it because you're not stiff. You're not just, robotic. Everybody is just, creative and beautiful in your spirit. So I just want to thank Brother Tony, thanks Sister Kalila, Sister Michelle, and my brother Lyle Muhammad. And now, Brother Lyle, did you have that shirt a long time ago, or this shirt was this perfectly made for this presentation?
Well, brother, when you got the right closet, when you got the right walk of life, this shirt, brother, actually comes back from 2009.
Wow.
2009, and
Wow.
I had to make sure I pulled it out, my dear brother, when I heard about this beautiful topic that we're having tonight, dear family.
Perfect.
This is what it's all about.
That's
Very
it.
appropriate. Very appropriate. Absolutely.
Well, I owe the title on the flyer to my brother Lawrence that makes my flyers. He came up with that. Usually I do Let Us Make Man when we have these. This is the 5th annual one that we're planning in Chicago.
Wait, time out. We got to give a praise break. Don't mind me, because some of us ain't done a second nothing. The 5th. That means, come on, y'all got to give some love. The 5th annual Save Our Sons Conference in Chi-Town. Man, I'm telling you, that's an accomplishment, my dear brother. But let's take a step back first, man, because I want to make sure people heard what you shared in that introduction. Because let's just be real, family. How often y'all out there hear about genius and black folk in mathematics in the same breath? You know, and so I would imagine, Doctor, that there's some other young boys and girls out there who might have had some similar life experiences that you had that kind of led you on that path. Can you just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and how you actually not just got interested into the study of mathematics, but mastering it?
Well, I definitely have to stop you there because I am nowhere near a master.
That's what all masters say.
That's right, brother. Right, like I'm not a master, but
I'm giving you actual facts.
Yes, sir.
Let me first start by saying the title Math Doctor definitely does not mean I think I'm supreme in mathematics. It's a service title. So you got the rug doctor, you got the car doctor, you got the computer doctor, and they all perform a service. So just as a doctor and a physician heal others, I put it on myself as a mission to heal our people, one, and the whole planet in general in terms of math literacy. So and competency. So that's where the Math Doctor title came from. But I originally wanted to be an astronaut.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be. I love sci-fi. I love space. But somebody told me that I would have to go into the Air Force, and I wasn't having any of that. So that diverted me into going into aeronautical engineering, where I said, well, if I can't go up in space, I can help put the rockets up.
Right.
But then I got my physics class. My first day, and the Asian professor was speaking, and I was totally lost. So I punked out and dropped the class. So, and then that led me back into, I don't know where the desire came from. I had a high school algebra teacher that I kind of liked, not necessarily the way he was teaching, but I just kind of liked the role of being a teacher and explaining and helping people to learn. So that put me back after those two careers were smashed. I went back to being a math teacher. But the desire to, one, help my people in math, the desire to really understand math and appreciate it did not come until I got into the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad deeply in the mathematical theology of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, and that the teachings are based in astronomy and in mathematics. And because of our beloved mother, Tanetta Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with her, she would go into mathematics so deeply when she taught the teachers at Muhammad University that she just inspired me to even more want to master mathematics and want to see our people master it. So I have to give credit to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Master Fard Muhammad, for these teachings, because the teachings is what gave me the catalyst to want to help our people in math and appreciate what mathematics, the power of it is in the first place. So that pretty much is a little synopsis. But I was on my way in 1989 to Ohio. I got accepted at a high school in Ohio. They were going to put me up in an apartment. I was just about to be a nice uppity Negro. That was my goal right at that point. But I put my application in at Muhammad University of Islam with the thought, I know no way in the world are they going to hire me. They probably got teachers like Mother Tanetta in Chicago. because I'm from Philadelphia originally, so
Right.
Oh yes, number 12. So I was like, never saw the minister close up. No, never saw anybody, high in the nation close up. And I was like, no, ain't no way in the world they're going to hire me to be a teacher at Muhammad University of Islam. But Sister Shelby, my beloved sister, called me around the time that I graduated, and she said the minister said to hire you over the phone. And I was done.
Wow.
So that was in 1989, and that started my mission and my journey in teaching our children in mathematics. And I found after a few years of teaching that the students just loved my class. They just loved the teaching. They just loved the way I taught the mathematics. And so that inspired me to write the book, How to Teach Math to Black Students. That inspired me from there to make the videos, and which inspired me to make the DVDs where we are right now. And I just got every Savior's Day, parents coming up with their children running up, hugging me, talking about, you the math doctor. So it's just been a blessing. Yes, go ahead.
If I could bear witness to how wonderful you teach, my brother, because you helped enhance my teaching skills. The year that I attended the first education conference in Chicago, the following school year, I was teaching math.
Right.
And so one very valuable lesson that you taught was no matter what the subject is,
right,
the student has to be able to see himself and herself in what is being taught.
Yeah. Brother Tony, what did you say? I don't have my headset, but my speaker just went down. Can you repeat? The student must what?
But for those that tune in every week, they'll know that Brother Lyle does that every week. I said that that the student must always see themselves in what is being taught, no matter what the subject is. And math is included in that. And so I'm very thankful to you, Brother Shahi. I'm very thankful to Allah for you in helping hone and sharpen my own teaching skills. I didn't know I was going to be teaching math that school year, but just paying attention to how you teach, my brother, that really helped me.
I have a question, Brother Shaheed, and I think this is important. I used to work for an SES program in the Bronx, and it was targeting a lot of
Sister Michelle. Is that a singer, entertainer, songwriter, SES, or what?
It's a supplemental educational program for children.
All right. Because some people like me, what I'm saying, I gotta speak up for the brothers and sisters.
It's a supplemental program for children, but what it was geared towards our children, our African American children and Latino children. Either way, what I learned, and the question I'm gonna gear this towards you is that the type of teachers that they were bringing in were very unique because they used a different method with us on how to teach English and math. It was more kinetic. I think it's what they call it. I think kinetic, if I can remember what it was. But they showed a significant difference. Their reviews went into the Harvard Review because of the way they taught. I want you to talk just a little about we learn different. And the way things are set up in the public school system is not really meant, or it's not really helping us to be able to advance. It's a hindrance in a sense. But can you talk the difference between how you teach the children? Like I said, they use different types of things that the children can touch and feel, to connect with, to be able to learn, opposed to, what they're doing in the school system, because I'm sure both worlds, but there was a significant difference on how we were taught that they got the results that they wanted to get for for grants and funding and things like that.
Definitely. Well, really, like I say in my book, even though the book title is How to Teach Math to Black Students, really the methods and strategies that I lay out are for any student, because all students they want to be seen in the curriculum. All students want a teacher to have enthusiasm, to be animated, to appreciate and love the subject.
Right.
It's crazy to say that you want the student to love the mathematics and you don't love it yourself. And it's right. You are an elementary school teacher and you have to teach math, but you really don't want to teach math. It's going to show to the students. So all students, from the white perspective all the way to the original man, the black man and woman, we want those basic principles of it from a teacher. But I add humor, I add games, I add real life experiences, I add real life applications, because most of them have a bad history of mathematics with bad teachers that just did not explain to them, why do I need to learn this? Right. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us the greatest question I ask out of what, when, where, how, and why is why. So the teacher has to show, with a subject like mathematics, you have to show them why they need to learn it. So I start in every lesson, I'm trying to pull out some real life example in sports, in music, in nature, in food, and whatever, music. I have to take what they like and marry it with the math curriculum. And then they're more inspired and motivated to want to learn it. But if you tell them you need to learn math so you can count your money, that's old, antiquated. You can't get in 2022. These students are too sophisticated. They too computerized. They got everything at their hand and at their disposal. You can't come with that old school curriculum and old school way of teaching. Yeah. So as the technology increases and amplifies and edifies, the teaching methods have to do the same. So we have to be real with the students, and we have to try to tap into what they like, what they know, and their experiences, and then marry that with the mathematics. So what I tried to do is, in the early grades, if I was teaching like the early grades, I use a lot of manipulatives, as you said, because children at that age, they're kinesthetic. They want to touch, feel, put things together, build. So you have to bring that into the mathematics curriculum when they're in preschool, when they're in kindergarten, first, second, third grade. Those are those primary foundational grades where the math teacher has to be a master, because you're laying the foundation. But the problem is, most of the preschool, most of the elementary students, teachers of mathematics are weak in mathematics. Right. Because the teaching colleges that produce teachers don't put them in rigorous math courses.
Brother Shaheed, I want you to continue, but that's a moment for the parents out there to bear witness. That's why your boys and girls, they come running home to you and they get on your nerves because you don't know how to help them, because the teacher didn't know how to help them in the first place. So parents, you're getting a whole curriculum on how to teach your children. Go ahead, my brother.
Absolutely. And that's why Junebug will come home and say, "Mom, I don't understand this multiplication." And then the mom say, "Well, I wasn't good at math when I was a child, so don't worry about it, baby." So we make excuses. We make excuses for the child not doing well in math. Instead of educating ourselves with all that's available on YouTube, you can get any lesson you want on YouTube. So instead of educating ourselves as parents, we aid them in the handicap by saying, "I wasn't good in math either. Your father wasn't good in math. Your grandma wasn't good in math. Black people ain't good in math." No, Black people created math. So another thing,
Doc, I apologize, Doc. It happened again. My you said something about Black people in math. What'd you say, Doc?
That's why the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are so critical. That's why Muhammad University of Islam is so critical, because you have to give them the knowledge of self in every subject. Brother Tony can tell you. Brother Tony does an excellent job in his class. You got to bring in the knowledge yourself. These textbooks, I'm sitting at my desk right now, full of white supremacy.
Right.
When I do workshops, I bring up this image that they have. When you type in 100 greatest mathematicians,
come on,
99 of them are all white.
That's right.
And 99 of them are men.
And we invented it, but we didn't
invent it. We created
it. It's a difference. It's a difference between inventing and creating.
All
right.
the evidence of old math history comes from Africa. Every evidence of the origin of mathematics comes from Africa. And
That's
just the fact that we built those pyramids, we had to have a supreme form of mathematics that they call it one of the 7 wonders of the world. They wondering how the hell the black people did it.
That's
Brother
right.
Shahid,
Still can't figure it out.
Brother Shahid,
Tony,
if
Sister
I can,
Kalila was trying to get in. I just trying to
Yeah.
referee a little bit. I don't
Yeah,
want
I'm
you
trying
know,
to-
Sister
Go ahead,
Kalila
Sister
tricking
Kalila.
your hands, so gotta let her get in, brother.
Praise
Come
be
on.
to Allah.
We bow,
Thank
we
you,
bow
Brother
to the
Laugh.
king.
Thank you, Brother Laugh. The topic is so pertinent, and it save our boys,
Our sons.
our sons, boys, sons,
Young men,
nephews,
all of the
Young
above.
men.
cousins down the street, because our boys are dying at a rapid pace.
Mhm.
And the beautiful thing that you specified is allowing the teachings to mirror them in it, right? And right now, because the school system is failing our children at a rapid pace, because it's old teaching. It's dated. It's something that our mother had, and it's the same thing. You just changed the book copy. I mean the cover of the book.
Right.
What is the importance of mathematics and saving our boys? How can we tie that into what's going on in society today?
One thing about mathematics, if it's taught properly, it teaches the child, it teaches the adult to be a critical thinker. It teaches you to deal with actual facts.
Mm.
One of the major concepts in mathematics is a function. A function is nothing but cause and effect.
Mm.
A function says if you input this, you output that. See,
Right.
our young men don't understand a functional relationship of Satan's world. He has set up a satanic world that's set up for the destruction of the black man. And when you input what he wants you to input into his formula of death, then the result is death. Physical, mental, spiritual, economical, on all levels. So when you learn mathematics properly, not just the adding, subtracting, the algebra, the geometry, solving a problem, but really solving a problem. Really understanding actual facts is needed in order to do it. Statistics are numbers that talk. So if you know the statistics about yourself, then you'll know your future. That's why the minister says, he who prescribes the diameter of your knowledge dictates the circumference of your activity. So if you don't know what's going on, you can't expect to do a thing.
Right.
So all that, Sister Kalila, is the mathematics of life. That's why we're taught Islam is mathematics and mathematics Islam. Islam is the universe, is everything that submits to God. So if Islam is mathematics, that means everything that submits to God is mathematics.
Right.
But our children are not taught math in a way that is life, that is real, that is them, that they are walking mathematics.
No doubt on that point right there, and Brother Tony and Sister Michelle coming right to you. But this is a perfect lead-in point, because I know we're going to be dealing with so much of how to do what needs to be done. You are getting a book on this program tonight, family. But what I want to do is, first, I'm going to place into the chat a link for brothers and sisters to have access to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's new educational paradigm.
Yes.
New educational paradigm. Now, as we placed that in the chat, you heard the testimony of our brother. You heard Sister Kalila's question, why are so many of us asleep? And just in case y'all trying to sleep through this, we pulled some of the statistics out from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's message that we just put in the chat for you. And we just want to share it with you. And there's a wake-up message behind it. So look at these statistics that bear witness to what our beloved Dr. Shahid said and what Sister Kalila just alluded to. And then as we do that, you know, first you might just see some familiar faces and some fathers saving their sons. But as we do that, family, make sure you read the statistics. Y'all recognize some of them beautiful people on there, you know. Check this out, family.
Wake up, wake up. You've got the power. You've got my people in the East, yo, you gotta wake up. Midwest, 30 South, yo, you gotta stand up. All my homies in the West, yo, you gotta wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. You got the power. My people in the East, yo, you gotta wake up. Midwest, 30 South, yo, you gotta stand up. All my homies in the West, yo, you gotta wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up, family.
Wow.
Wake up. Wake up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wake
So
up.
we have
Well,
to
look, since nobody's not talking, you know, the thing is, no, because those statistics are really, to be honest with you, they're statistics, but they're even dated because right now, what's going on?
It's off the chain.
It's getting worse, and it's not getting any better.
It's not.
We're not governing our communities anymore. We're not building you know, villages anymore. I mean, even if you know, you yell at a child now, it's like now the parents want to jump on you because you're yelling. But if your child did something wrong, it wasn't that. I'm just trying to save him from what's to come. But we became so personal. Instead of building community, we became so personal in our growth, but we're losing our children at the end of the day. And I'm so tired of the shaking head method. You know, every time something go across the stream, we like, I'm tired of that. I'm so sick of it because shaking your head does not solve problems.
Come on,
getting together. You know, I was just talking to a congressperson, just walked up to me and was like, I want you to vote for me. I said, you know what? What can you do for our community? Well, we got programs. Right. No, what can you do for our community? That's a very direct question. And if you don't know I don't need a puppet. I don't need something to be drawn in the sand and you have to actually rehearse it every time you walk in front of people. What can you do for our community? Our community is broken and it needs to be fixed. What can you do? He couldn't even give me an answer. So right now we have to take our power back because we have lost it along the way and we need it back. And this brother Shaheed has came up with the program to save not only save our boys, but make them smarter than ever before.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are listening to my mouth, my words, you need to start liking and sharing this information. Don't let it be too late to where the next time you get a call, it's somebody in your own house that's getting shot and killed.
Right. On that note right there, Sister Cleta, because it's going to come to somebody's doorstep. Brother Shaheed, why don't you take us through how you established the first Save Our Sons conference? Because it might give somebody else out there a blueprint on something they can be doing in their city as well.
Sure.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Sister Khalila, I meant to say earlier that I send my wife and I condolences to you and your family.
Thank you,
for that tragic loss of your nephew. But it went back to when the sisters, if you all remember, Sister Captain Naima, they put on what was called Save Our Girls.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
On my birthday.
Yes. They invited the Honorable
or
Minister
19.
Farrakhan.
Yes.
So I was sitting there looking, I was like, when is somebody going to do something for the boys?
Come on.
Because we are totally slaughtered and totally destroyed. Not that our women are not destroyed, but you all are like a step above where the men are.
Right.
And we just have been told, because the target is on us. That's why I like that symbol of public enemy. We have that target on us.
Right.
That's right.
So they want to push up the women and destroy the men, because that separates the family, that separates the nation, because a nation can rise no higher than this woman. But if the woman is disconnected from the man, because being allowed to be employed, and if you look, Satan is just so wise. So now he's putting all these black women in these positions, but most of them either are lesbian or most of them have a white husband.
Oh, I was making sure you said that second part, because y'all come on, act like y'all don't see the integration of America. Come on, y'all see what's going on.
But you don't see anything about the black man. We're like totally destroyed.
Right.
That's right.
So once I saw the sisters do that program, I said, you know what? We need to do something for the young men. Now, before that, I did have a conference I put on called Save the Black Child. This was before the sisters put on their program. And I actually went to several cities and did it, but it was just so hard getting participation. I think the biggest Save the Black Child I had, get ready, in terms of attendance, was when I went to London.
Wow.
Wait. The sound went out again, right? You said the greatest one you have. What city in America was that, brother? What was it?
London, England. I came out, brother Minister Hakeem, right? No longer Hillary.
Abdul Hakeem.
This is the first time I went to London. He invited me because he heard about me doing the Save the Black Child in other cities. So he said he wanted to do one in London. When I came out into the auditorium and saw it was at least 500 people for a Save the Black Child, and we did a workshop as well on math, I was blown away. But here in America, we were lucky to get 20, lucky to get 10, lucky to get 30, because we have been reduced below the level of animals. Even animals take care of their young. We're not taking care of our young, so we are even below the animal stage. So what inspired me was a desire to save our children. And once I saw the sisters do that program, then that inspired me to do one called Boys to Men. And because one of the main problems is our young boys don't know how to be men, because the men that are supposed to be men to teach them how to be men have been reduced to boys as well. It's an all-out assault. So once I set the program up, I was looking at what things can we give them that will help them in the development and male empowerment. So we wanted to make sure that they knew a little knowledge of themselves. We wanted to make sure they knew the conspiracy to destroy black boys. So I do a portion in the program called Manhood Boot Camp. And I just come hardcore. I got images, because images say a lot more than words. So I use my PowerPoint. I show them a picture with a bunch of young boys with their pants sagging. And I'm like, what do you think that is? What do you think about that? Where you're a grown boy, a grown man, and don't even know how to pull your pants up, don't even know how to dress. All that is part of the conspiracy to destroy us. So I show them certain images where we look like buffoons. They push up comedians. They push up sports figures. But I asked them, how many of y'all know any black mathematicians that are that are black men? How many of y'all know any black scientists? Why aren't they put up there like that? Then we go into respecting and protecting your mother, respecting and protecting black women and any women. Then we go into do for self. We talk about that. We give them workshops on how to do for self. So I invite some of the brothers that may be a barber, some of the brothers that may be in landscaping, some of the brothers that are in farming, agriculture. So they get a choice of what they want to be, and they can see that you don't have to wait till you go to college to start making money on a legal way and a righteous way, that you can start now doing for self. And then we have a self-defense martial arts seminar, because I teach them you got to be able to protect your sisters, protect your mothers, because people are stone crazy out here today. It's a jungle out here, as you all know. So then we have conscious edutainment, because they like hip hop, but I try to bring in the edutainment. I've been trying to get Brother Tony to come down, because he does conscious rap. So that's just a portion of what we do. We also do conflict resolution. We ask the men that come if they would volunteer to be mentors of the young boys, because a lot of them have no fathers in the picture at all. So we ask them to adopt a young boy and, just take them out, even if it's just once a month, twice a month, whatever you can do. Call them, talk to them, be there to counsel them. Because I don't want the conference just to be, we talk, they leave, and it's over. We want them to get something sound on the ground that they can use immediately in their life and begin to make a transformation for the better. So that's what inspired me. We were blessed the second year because I asked the minister to speak. I asked the minister to speak at the Boys to Men conference. This was shortly after the sisters did theirs, but he wasn't available. So I was kind of jealous. So then the next year, I presented it to him again, and I got the call back from his administrative assistant. He will do it, and I was just blown away. So the second annual one, we were able to have the man of God speak on that program. And Chicago is just the main places that I've had it, but we've done one in St. Louis, we've done one in Indianapolis, we've done one in Philadelphia, my hometown, and a couple other cities we tried to bring the Boys to Men conference to.
So I tell you what we get ready to do, Brother Shahi. We don't gamble up here, but we about to bump up the stakes real quick.
Come on.
Bump up the stakes, right? Because we know the God that we serve is so mighty once it gets put in this atmosphere. So it sounds like, from what I hear you saying and what you've already done and what I've known that others have done across this country, that it's time for a national conference.
Absolutely.
It's time for us to bring all our great minds that want to concentrate on saving our sons, all our great programs and all these things. And so, brother, I'm putting it into the atmosphere, but I do not give that to you without offering my feet, my hands, and my mind, brother, because that's what time it is.
And what city are you in, my brother?
I am in Miami.
Miami. Everybody's in Miami, of course, right?
In Miami, we've also have a beautiful track record in some other cities where we've gone in to do beautiful things to help save our sons, brother. So, and the work that you're doing now, and talk more for those who can come out to give them the date. I just have the flyer up. If somebody can put it up better than I did, please do so. But brother, talk about those who are in that area, in that region. People travel 100 miles for a party. I wonder how many miles they'll travel to participate in this conference.
I'm glad you said that, because I want to give, I don't like saying shout outs, but I want to give some props to a brother, forget his name, but he would bring, every year we did it in Chicago, he would bring a van load of young men to Chicago. And I found out, I said, you drove from Washington, D.C.? He said, oh, yeah. And he would come every year. So if you're in the vicinity of Chicago, it will be, inshallah, on June 11th, Saturday, June 11th, at Muhammad University of Islam, which is right next to, adjacent to Mosque Mariam, the National Center, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. All are invited. We're trying to gear towards 11 to 19-year-old young Black boys, Hispanic boys, American Indian, whatever you want to call, original young men. So but if you bring them in their 10, we're not going to turn them over. And if you bring them in their 20, we're not going to turn you away. We're just focusing on that age, okay?
Yes, sir. That focus, brother. Look, family, real quick. Was it 11 to 19?
Yes,
every last person, you got to do a self-check. I want you to think about all the 11 to 19-year-old young boys and men that need was being talked about. Just start thinking about them and start in your house first, right? And then kind of go on out. So we know there's a need. Go ahead, my brother.
No problem. So it's free admission, no charge. Parents can drive by, drop the child off, and keep on rolling. But
wait a minute, come back. Did it again, brother. I'm gonna get this thing taken. Did you, brother? I didn't just hear you say the parents can do a drive-by.
They can do a drive-by, but a righteous drive-by.
Right.
And what better place to leave your children?
Yes. So there's the flyer. So if you are in the Chicago area, the vicinity, just want to drive like the brother from Washington, D.C. did. You understand the need, the emergency. That's why I love to Save Our Sons, because the acronym is SOS. We are not in cold green. We are in cold red. Our children are dying. And that's the sisters and the brothers. I'm just focusing on the young men because that's who has the greatest target of destruction by this enemy. This beast does not want to see our young men flourish. They know what generation this is. They know who they are, that they're natural born lions born to rule. So they want to do like Herod did, kill the black boys or the young boys at age 2 so that they don't grow up into the future rulers that they're destined to be. So we have to understand, we have to drop everything. Our top priority is our youth, is our children. We cannot be lower than animals. Animals take care of their children. What is going on with us, where our children are running buck wild in every major city in America? We got to get on our posts as men, as women. And the only solution in Satan's world is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan teach, and that's separation.
That's right.
We got to have our own schools. We got to have our own nation, because as long as they're integrated with Satan and his hosts and his minions, we will continue to see the destruction of our girls and boys.
Yes, sir.
So if you're in the area that we're going to have, hopefully, inshallah, Brother Minister Ishmael is going to speak on the spiritual aspect. We're going to have a workshop on respecting and protecting the Black woman and women in particular, squashing the beef, career and vocational information, manhood boot camp, where we're going to give them the basics of what it is to be a man. That is not about your muscles. It's not about holding an AK-47. It's not about pimping women. To be a man is to have knowledge, wisdom, understanding, to be a protector, a maintainer, have self-discipline. These are some of the things that they're going to get principles at this conference. And it's
let me ask you this, brother Shaheed. Well, since they're gonna get all that, and I know, we're gonna talk business right now. I know how we are in America when it comes to business. If I was in another city and I just heard everything you just said, would you mind if I kind of borrowed and used that black print to do something in my city or somebody else that's in another city? How would you feel about that, brother?
I would love to get on the plane and fly to your city and help you put it on. I wanted to take this on the road, but once the pandemic hit, then we had to, quarantine. But we're back out with the help of Allah, even though the pandemic is not gone, but we're just going to keep going because the mission doesn't stop. And we just got to keep our prayer and keep how to live in our bodies so that we can fight it if we get it. But if you're in another city and you can't make it to Chicago and you want to put on a Save Our Sons, Let Us Make Man, Boys to Men conference, then all you got to do is contact me. You can contact this beautiful bunch of believers with this beautiful program, and they can get in touch with me and we can make it happen. All we need is a place, some flyers, and some committed people, and then people that we will have to present. And we don't just have men present.
I love that.
So if sisters have something, like when I did one in Delaware, we had a sister who was a scientist. She presented to the young men. So it's not just, even though it's boys to men, if the presenters have something to give and they're sisters, we don't hold back. We let the sisters come and speak to the brothers as well. So if you can get the place, you want to do it, all you got to do is email me at maafdr12@gmail.com.
Somebody drop it in the chat. Drop it like it's hot. Because it is.
Brother Shaheed, I have a question.
Now. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
I have a question, beloved. Just as an act of encouragement and showing that the success of this program, this conference, because this is going to be the 5th. Do you have any success stories? You don't have to mention names, but do you have any success stories that you would like to mention that has come about as a result of the previous 4 conferences?
It's hard to find after they leave, to track them down. Somebody else asked me that, the sister from the Final Call, when she did the article and interviewed me. I told her I don't have any that may have come back besides the brother that brings them from Washington, D.C. And he told me he just loves the response of the youth that he brings, that is they really love coming, and that's why he brings them and travels that far, because they love the conference. So, and we also get we have them fill out a survey at the end, and most, if not all, of the responses were positive, much needed, glad they came. So they're getting it. But in terms of a comeback success story, I don't have any per se that I know of. But the positive. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's the rate change, brother.
Yes, sir.
Because there is a way to turn not just the concept, but to turn the summit into an actual community-based movement.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Brother Lau. Yeah.
You know, and that I'm gonna wink at you, brother, because guess what? That black print is already done too. So I look forward to connecting with you so we can make that happen. Go ahead, Sister Michelle.
I was gonna say, I think this is very important because I know when I first went to college, I got so, it's like you're contagious when you start to learn about our history. And I started to get deep and deep and deep, and I got into a leadership program when I was at school. But I'm bringing it up because what just Brother Lau had mentioned, because I think somehow, as I see young boys and me having boys and boys that were mischievous and getting in trouble and, that type of thing, that can really gear them off the wrong way, which is kind of how we end up in these certain circumstances where they're out in the streets and they're shooting and robbing and getting into things that they shouldn't get into, right? But I think that the program that Brother Lau was mentioning, or something like that, or transforming it and something like that, it's important. But there was a book, and I don't know if you've ever read it. It's called Set Up for Failure. It's you've heard of it, right? Maybe you haven't.
It sounds powerful.
It's set up for two Harvard brothers. Yeah. It's two Harvard brothers that wrote this book and talked about how really our children are set up for failure, meaning that, whether it's, they're not understanding something in class, or they're not, maybe they might be acting up because maybe they don't understand something. I mean, I kind of went through it with my children, but a type of program that Brother Lau was talking about, how do we get that? Because what I'm seeing today, or even when my children were growing up, because I was under of course, the leadership and guidance of the most honorable the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But that's what saved my boys, because I was brought into knowledge. Crazy. But when I look back, and even today, the problem that I'm seeing is that you got the single mothers that are not home. Same scenario. Dad's not there. Mom's not at home. Children are fending for themselves. We know that they need to be saved. We know what the problem is. We've got some types of different programs and different things, but how do we create something that's cemented and really start to do something to change? Because, I mean, like Sister Kalila mentioned, I don't know if it's just we're paying more attention to the news or what, but it's some really crazy things that our babies are doing. We're not even talking about what's happening to them, but just what they're doing.
What
right?
they're engaged in.
I'm sorry. I just need to interject. Yeah. If you all don't mind, I need to take a commercial break. All right.
Okay.
So, yes, sir.
So I'll be right back, inshallah. But Brother Tony, if you can kind of entertain.
Well, you want me to move away from host mode to now answering questions?
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Yes, what do you wear multiple hats?
That's hilarious.
Well, I got to be honest. I can't sit here and hear something like that and not respond, because what we're asking for, it actually exists.
Right.
It exists. And the first thing I want to do is, family, that brother we're listening to right now, first of all, to my brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam, please listen carefully to these words. There are not enough Dr. Shaheed Muhammads.
Right.
No. You didn't hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying you be him. I'm saying you be you, but be out there.
Right.
Pause right there.
Right there.
See,
Brother,
go ahead, brother Tony.
No, go ahead, brother Lau. You finish your statement.
Right. And so, because I'm listening to my brother, and I'm very, very humble, but I'm just reflecting because we started a Save Our Sons program that started as a summit here in Miami. But just because of the belief, like Brother Shaheed, or a brother that's here in Miami, or a brother that's in your city or somewhere else, I remember getting a small $10,000 grant to keep it continuing. And then I remember getting a $75,000 donation to actually institutionalize it as a movement in all of South Florida. So can you imagine the Dr. Shaheeds coming together with the other brothers and sisters that are listening right now that are already on the ground doing the work? You are already on the ground in your communities doing this great work. But what's going to happen now when we come together? And I must say this, Sister Michelle, it's even gone so far that there even been laws that have been changed that give us access to some of our young boys and men that we would never have access to. And so I applaud Brother Shaheed. And I'll just pause right there and get some feedback. And I do have a Shaheed video clip if we want to show it now or later. But go ahead, Brother Tony.
I just wanted to say we could go to the clip. And, I just want to make this comment very quickly, Brother Lyle. But we do have local Shaheeds in all of our cities. We have local Brother Tonys. I'm not going to aggrandize myself, but we need to have.
You already did, Brother Tony.
No, I didn't. I'm just applying what I've been taught.
We'll do it, Brother Tony. We got Brother Tony's here going on.
And we need more Brother Lyles and more Sister Michelle's and Sister Khalila's. And so this is what I'm gonna say is just like we need more people in positions of responsibility with our youth to come together and establish more programs, local programs, so that our young people can see themselves and now be able to walk in their divine path. But it's going to take an active work. The hard conversations, Brother Lyle, is like, what are you doing? What you doing with yourself?
Right. And speaking of that, Brother Shaheed, right. I don't know if you remember this, dear brother. But I just feel obligated to kind of let people catch a little something about what you said, dear brother.
Like Muhammad said, that the people who do not know mathematics will always be subject to a people that do. So if in my mind I want to keep you down, I'm going to make sure that you are not mathematically proficient, that this is something that you perceive as difficult and run away from, so that I can keep you down and keep you subjugated. So, what is the real deal? Are we just naturally born mathematically illiterate? It's just something that's not cut out for Black people, for Hispanic people, for Native Americans. Well, let's go to the real deal. Now, you don't get the real deal in the schools. Because in many of the books that I learned and study from in terms of mathematical history, you rarely see anybody Black in the book. It's like we don't even exist. We didn't give any contribution at all to mathematics. Now they have something in Chicago in the city colleges called a math emporium. This is a place where you can send your class and learn math and do math labs and so forth.
Now I'm pausing it there for a particular reason, family. I need y'all to hear me out. I want to give something away to our audience.
Uh-oh.
All right. You know, I want to give something away. Right. I'm saying because we're gonna get some of our brothers' books. But now, if you were paying attention to that clip, who can tell us what that emporium in Chicago? Because brother mentioned it on the show tonight. He mentioned it on the show tonight. Who can tell us what that emporium is all about what you remember our brothers saying? And now watch this, right? Brother Shaheed, how many books do you have, brother?
When you say, oh, that means a lot.
Right.
No, it's not that many. Maybe 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just do me a favor. Name the titles out loud for me just so I can follow along.
How to Teach Math to Black Students. That's where it started everything. 12 inches makes a ruler, the meaning of the number 12. That gets into the mathematical theology of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I have one called The Adventures of the Math Doctor. That's a children's book. And then I have a workbook for the K through first, and I have a super workbook for 4th through high school. And so, I think that's it.
Well, I want to give away a set. Right? Y'all listen, audience, right? You got to work for it now. Because our brother spoke clearly about it. So what I want to do, right, real quick, and I'll replay it later, but I want to come back to you, Doc, and the closing remarks I want to make. I'll play it again, but the math doctor talked about this emporium, and it had a specific thing that he mentioned in terms of Black folk and mathematics. It was very specific. All right. And so with that, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to let any closing questions or remarks you all want to let our brother or share with him.
I do. Yeah, I do. But just before we close, Brother Shaheed, and I struggle with this with my youngest son. Do you have, or does your program work for children that may suffer from ADHD or autism to learn math? I know for me, my son struggled a little bit, but we figured out a way to teach him, and then his brain just did what it needed to do to and now he's really good at math. In fact, he's better than me. Some stuff I can't even figure out what he do, but and I struggle with that. And I remember when he was younger, I thought about getting your program. Seriously thought about getting your program because we were just trying to figure out how to teach him, but I wasn't sure if the program would work for him. But anybody that's out there that may have a child that may have special needs or things like that, does this program work for them?
It depends on the severity, of the learning needs. I'm not going to sit here and just say, yes, it works for everybody. But I just know that the animation, the spirit, the connection to the real world that they get when I'm teaching, the breaking it down and making it simple so anybody can learn it, that helps, any child to learn. Wow. But it also depends on the age, because I have some like my preschool, and my preschool DVD is animated, so that kind of helps for those that might have attention problems or whatever. But I try my best to be animated when I'm teaching because I know attention is a major problem with our children, because there's so many distractions, and Satan has offered so many tempting distractions that to try now to come and teach them math is like, please, nobody want to hear that. So I have to I got to flip, I got to dance, I got to break dance, I got to do all type of things to try to get that attention that they're getting from Fortnite, that they're getting from Madden 2020, or what they're getting from basketball. So I'm trying to incorporate some of that media, some of that stimulation of the senses in the teaching method. So that kind of helps those that may have attention deficit disorder. But Dr. Kunjufu was one of my role models. He said that it may not be that Black students are hyperactive or attention deficit disorder. It may be that the stimuli that they're given is so slow, so uninteresting, that they go do something else. So because there's a study that Yale did, and I do this when I do presentations for teachers, and Yale let they call them African Americans, they let Black children watch Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. Then they let European watch Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. And of course, they found that the Black students reacted better, and learned more from the Sesame Street format than they did from the Mr. Rogers format.
You mean they didn't learn from the Mr. Rogers format as well?
Hello, neighbor.
They probably learned, but they probably weren't motivated.
Very little and far in between.
Absolutely. Because you don't know what's Sesame Street. So what I try to do is put Sesame Street in my classroom. you know, to the best of my ability. Of course, it's easier to do with lower grades than when I'm teaching high school and college. But college students, because of the way I teach with comedy, with excitement, animation, they put me there at Malcolm X College. There was only, I'm not there full time anymore. I'm going back part time. But when I was there, they had what they call rate your professor. And a 5 was like a perfect score. I think it was me and maybe one other teacher that were the only teachers that got a 5. And when I would get my student evaluations, greatest teacher ever. I wish I had you in elementary school. You made my year. I hated math until I got your class. And I just knew that was Allah who blessed me with an ability to teach and help students learn. I have a brother he came from Africa. He said that, you know, he had his children. He raised his children on my videos. And they in college now. He said they're doing well in math and so forth. So those are the rewards that I get, because I don't get monetary awards. I tell my students, I said, there's these rappers that are making all this money, and then there's me. I'm slinging DVDs, but ain't nobody. I'm not slinging DVDs to the point where I'm riding a Range Rover. You know what I mean? It's not like that.
Make sure you at least put a link to them DVDs that can run across the bottom of this screen.
Yes.
So we can get some of these brothers and sisters out here to get some of those DVDs.
And we now have direct download, Brother Lau, where you can just buy it and it comes right to your laptop, right to your tablet. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
But Sister Michelle, you mentioned something before. I had to make a run, and it was about doing something where it continues. What has to happen is, it's .org. What has to happen is parents have to be awakened, because the teachers can do as much as we can do. Brother Tony will tell you this as well. We can do as much as we can do in a little time slot that we have. And I have less time than Brother Tony, because at MUI, the brothers go from 8 to 12, and then they're gone. The sisters go from 12 to 4. That's the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wanted to have it, because he wanted to keep the sexes separate, and he wanted us to be fast teachers, train them up quick and fast. They don't need to take 12 years to get this stuff. All right. But anyway, I got off on that. I was getting to something. So we only have them for a short amount of time. The parents have to be awakened. There has to be a parent revolution, and they have to become to see that we are in cold red. And if we don't get off our butts and get our children out of Satan's schools, then we're going to continue to have our children become Satan right before our eyes.
That's right.
My God.
So the village is destroyed. They say there's a village raised a child, but the village is poisoned. The village has been decimated by Satan. The best thing that a parent can do is start that child young and teach that child all the subjects when they're young, and prepare a learning environment. Make your home a university. Because the black boys, one of their main problems is they have an idle mind. And idle mind is Satan's playground and Satan's workshop, as you all know. So Satan's coming through the way Master Father Muhammad told the Honorable Elijah Muhammad he would come through the terror vision. He's coming through the video games. He's coming through in so many different areas that before it was just the TV, but now he's in the phone. He's on the computer games. He's everywhere. So if we as parents are not bodyguards for our children's minds, then we will never stop this destruction of our youth.
Man, Doc, that was like you were Dr. J, because you slam dunked that one. and I want you to know, while you were gone, dear brother.
Yes, sir.
We gave a shout out and a spiritual admonishment to all the beautiful brothers and sisters that are in mosque all across this country, in the world, who have what we have, but not outside those four walls. You go and take what you have to the community, and that's the wake-up call I want to give to those that are inside the four walls.
And thank you for that, because that brought me to giving a salute to the big Shaheed. When I used to meet him at Savior's Day, I called him the big Shaheed, and that's our beloved Captain Shaheed. And it's just an honor to wear the same name as that beloved brother. because he was a street soldier, just like you said. All through Compton, they knew him. And I'm trying my best to help the minister by being out in the street, not talking in the mosque, but going out to save our people in the street. Not just our youth, but our people in general. We got to, because our lessons tell us what is the duty of a civilized man or woman, to teach the uncivilized people who are savage. That's right. Civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of God, the knowledge of themselves, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness.
Come on.
Brother Shaheed, what happens if we don't do that?
Oh my goodness. If a civilized person does not perform his duty, which is teaching civilization to others,
come on, say it.
Punished with a severe punishment.
Off with their head.
And I don't know about you, but I'm trying to avoid that punishment.
I don't want my head cut off.
Right. Slow down, Sister Lee, to give us a chance.
Brother Shaheed, we do have a question. We have a question from the audience.
Oh, yes.
Brother Shaheed, how Sister Ashley X, what happened to the question? Sister Ashley X asked a question. How do we get a curriculum for parents who teach at home?
That's a good question. Well, Muhammad University in Chicago is working on a online program where you'll be able as a parent to just log on and have your children log on. But so ready. In the meantime, because I know you want something right now and you're tired of Chicago taking 20 years to make something happen. So we have a beloved sister out of Lexington, Kentucky, my beloved sister, Queen Sherry Muhammad, that put together Asiatic Minds. I also teach for them. So in the morning, 7 in the morning, from 7 to 8, so 7 to 9, I'm teaching Asiatic Mind students. Then I roll right into MUI Chicago.
Somebody find that link. Find that link. Somebody find it.
AsiaticMinds.com.
You keep teaching, brother. We'll find it. You keep teaching. Let us find it, brother.
She has a program, a curriculum based in the teachings on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and she's starting this new year with a curriculum based in agriculture, because the minister said that Lord have mercy, Brother Tony, help me, or Brother Lau, or the Queens. It's the land. The land is the key to the nation, something like that. But it's talking about the importance of farming. So
the above, family. You want to eat? How about that? Well, let me break it down for them. See, how many of y'all want to eat? All right,
she's making a curriculum is based in the teachings, and also is going to be based in agriculture as well. So yes, sister, that you have curriculum there, and that should be able to help you.
Okay.
And
you said Asiatic Minds?
AsiaticMinds.com. I didn't press the button. My bad.
You're doing wonderful work. There's another question, Brother Shaheed. What do you have for 4th and 5th grade math?
Oh, we have stuff. We have stuff for the baby still in the womb. The animated preschool.
You got a little bit for everybody.
Yeah, we have a little bit for everybody. So if you go to the website, all the DVDs have a description, sister, and you'll be able to see what's for the 4th and 5th grade.
Did we run that website, family, down the bottom?
Yeah, it's right under my email.
If
I'm seeing what you all see.
I see it. The man,
while we're getting the website up, Brother Shaheed, I have a question. As I teach history, but I don't leave math out in the teaching of history.
Yes.
And I trip out other history teachers. The math teachers that are right next to my classroom, they're always tripping out as to the way that I teach history. I always reserve lessons on Pythagoras, who's really named, that was really, I believe, was an initiate name. That was not his original name.
Did you say Pythagoras? I missed that.
Pythagoras, which is not his real name.
Okay.
I believe it was an initiate name, and the real name that you pronounce it was Pythagoras, because he got his education in Egypt.
Straight up.
And he went back to Europe. He went back to Samos, and he went back to Southern Europe. And he started up a school, and an integral part of what he taught was mathematics. I don't call him Alex, a lot more greater.
You talking about that Robert, that thief dude? Is that the thief dude you talking about? I'm just trying to make sure I got my history.
Alexander,
right.
the not so
dude that stole all us. Oh, okay.
Alexander of Macedon. Well, he went to school. He conquered a whole nation. He wasn't allowed into the schools of mysteries because he was told that he had no soul.
And didn't he
And so,
ransack the libraries or something like that? Like just take out stuff?
Well, the one that ransacked the library was Aristotle, and then claimed he basically plagiarized a lot of the information that was in those libraries. And he rushed through. He was like, I don't want to get caught, so he rushed through a lot of that information, and just a lot of his writings are incomplete because he rushed. But Brother Shahid, why is it so important to teach about the history of mathematics? I'm gonna mention one more thing. We have some of the most ancient mathematical tools there in Africa, including the Ashango bone that was found at the base of the Nile. And so a lot of us don't realize that it was ancient Black people that started up the whole study of mathematics. Why is it so important for our young people to understand these facts, and what kind of difference does it make in the classroom for them to understand that we ourselves are the authors of mathematics?
Let's go to the public school. Take a survey of our young Black boys and ask them, what do you want to be? I guarantee you're going to hear basketball, football, rapper, right? You're going to hear gangster, right? You're going to hear anything in the entertainment field. You probably are not going to hear, I want to be a mathematician. Because why do they know they can be a rapper? Because every time they turn on the TV, that's all they see is Black people rapping. They see Black people playing sports. So they know they can do these things. So the child grows up seeing images of people doing things. So they say, that's for me. But they don't see Black people doing math at all. So they say that's something for white folks, because when they open up these textbooks, that's all they see are white mathematicians. Remember, I said 100 greatest mathematicians, and 99 of them were white men.
He just gave you a clue to getting that book packet too, family, by the way. Doctors gave y'all a clue.
So if you don't have the history component of the subject, then you are void of the meat and the essence of the subject, because you can't connect it to anything. But they have to see Black mathematicians that gives them the fuel to know that they can do it. So I thank Allah for our beloved brother, Dr. Abdul Aleem Shabazz.
Yes, sir.
Who was a great mathematician in the Nation of Islam. I still have his cell phone number in my phone. He passed away a few years ago.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Philadelphia, right?
He was there, I think sometime. Yeah, Lincoln University. He taught at Atlanta, Clark, and he also was at Grambling for a while. But that brother right there, when he comes on the scene, and when he was on the scene, I was the math janitor. not taking nothing against janitors. We love our janitors.
Right.
Maybe I won't say that because somebody might.
No, my mom was a master custodian, baby, and she took her job very seriously.
Let me say, I was a math bum. There you go.
Oh no!
And he's on the scene. That brother was no joke. And most of the Black mathematicians, Brother Tony, that got their PhD, they got it under him.
On that note, Brother Shahid, there is another question here. Do you have,
and Brother Tony, don't forget, this plane is kind of like hovering right now, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I got one question as well.
Let me know what the time is. I don't know. So
we have a question. Do you have something for college students?
Oh, of course. All the DVDs that teach math are for college students as well. So we have algebra, we have algebra 2, we have geometry, we have word problems, we have pre-calc, we have trig. All that's open for the adults as well. All of them are for adults, except for maybe the animated preschool. But we even have a basic math that will give an adult that foundation that they might have missed. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, word problems.
Beautiful.
So yes, I don't gear it towards the children when I'm teaching, except for the lower levels. So yeah, the college students can grab something as well.
Praise be to Allah. And you said adults too, right?
Yeah.
Adults, children, babies.
Yes, sir.
Anybody that need to get their math on can get it.
Yes.
I have a question. Going back to your event, Brother Shaheed,
Save our sons.
you specified a certain age, which is 11 through 19. Can you go into detail why that age is so important for our young Black boys?
It gets into the critical transition ages, like fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. That's when they start going through those hormone changes. That's when they start going into all the transitions of their mind, psychology, and all that. And it's also the critical ages for getting them ready to be a man. I mean, of course, we need to get the 2-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, but it would just be too big of a span of ages. And then, you have a 19-year-old sitting next to a 5-year-old, and we're trying to communicate.
Right.
So I looked at something that would be in a short interval that would be most impactful for the children that have already been molded in the world. See, there's greater hope for the ones that are babies because the parents can get them if they're illuminated in their mind and then help them to come up and get into manhood. But those 11 to 19 ages are critical.
That's our triage population. Those are the ones that are bleeding, docs.
That's right. And those are the ones that's out doing the robbing and gang banging and the drive-by shooting in Chicago, the sticking up, taking people's cars. So I wanted to do something that could get those ages that are doing all the drama and trauma. So that's one reason we chose 11 to 19.
Okay. We have another question.
That makes sense.
Asiatic minds. Right now, sister, they're starting at 3rd grade. But I think she did have some 2nd graders that were doing the 3rd grade curriculum. So I don't think she has anything for the preschool as of yet. But I would go to the website and then you can contact her and see, because she might have new plans for next year.
And is there tutoring after, like when, they come from the slaughterhouse and they need to be reprogrammed? Is there a tutoring system available?
For math, for me?
For math, for you, definitely. And as well as Asiatic mind.
Yeah, Sister has a holistic approach. So they have electives. They have, she's going to have counselors for next year. She's adding a lot to the puzzle. They have music, photography classes. So she does a lot with that online platform. It's just awesome. So I would just say, go to the website, get the information that she has there, and then get her contact, and also let her know the math doctor recommended. So
excellent.
I pride myself as being the one that gets the most referrals to her.
Keep making it happen, dear brother. Keep making it happen.
With the help of Allah.
Our sister, who's the founder of Asiatic Minds, was featured on the Farrakhan Generation about 2 weeks ago. Look it up on the Closing the Gap network. As our sister was interviewed, and she expressed some awesome success stories there on that program.
And Sister Kalila, yes, I do tutoring and I have online classes myself.
Okay.
So some of my online students take classes with MUI, or they're in classes with Asiatic Minds.
And that leads me to I'm gonna give my closing remarks now, family. While they're still fresh on my mind from that beautiful dialogue that just took place. All you brothers and sisters who want better for your children, whatever you want is already out there. You gotta reach. I guarantee you could reach out, and sister might not have this, but she know who has that, who has this, who has this. Our activity, first of all, it's the whole fear, faith, and truth piece, and I'll leave it alone with this. Truthfully, many of us know we want better for our children educationally, but we still have that fear in us that was put in us when we were a little boy, and we're afraid to break away.
There it is. You hit
from
it.
The white man's miseducation system. We're afraid, and we want better.
You hit the bullseye.
So, family, all you got to do is just reach. Make the phone call. Get the material. Look, you could read one sentence or one paragraph in one of our brothers' book, and it can give you the faith of a mustard seed to keep going and building. And so have no fear, you know, and that's coming from a parent that's had children that have never seen a white man's institution, you know, never, ever, and on their way to being the best in all of academic world and society, family. So we can do this, family, but just make sure you have enough courage to reach.
Wow.
What if you all don't mind? I saw one of the questions scroll, and the sister asked, "Yeah, there it is. Is this only no? Asiatic Minds is open to the world, and whatever I do is open to the world. So, no, it's not just for NOI members."
And that's one of the beautiful things about this platform, family. The 7th Region Coalition is to help build those bridges. So regardless of your faith, your walk of life, if you want better, 7th Region Coalition.
It is.
Brother Shahid, I'll give my closing remarks. I wanna thank you. I know that it's very important to unlock those things that are in our children. I mean, like I said, I struggle with my boys, but you know, I was that parent that came home and retaught them and used bead charts to teach my son. That's how I taught him math. I went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of things that he can touch, and that's how I was able to get through. But I think it's very important that everyone kind of re-listens to this program, because I will tell you that once I figured out what my child wasn't learning, or what his roadblock was, or he wasn't understanding something, once I figured that out and I was able to home in and fix the issue, the behavior started to change. It was over time, but as I started to identify that he wasn't understanding what he was learning, but the moment he started to understand what he was learning, the behavior shifted. And that's important. And I think a lot of the reasons why our children struggle with math, like you said, one, they're being taught by those that are not teaching it properly so that we can understand it. But once the child you remove and figure out what the issues are and then reteach them, they pick it right up. Their behavior changes. They'll go from a bad student, quote unquote, to a good student.
Right.
But I just want to encourage every parent out there that has challenges. And like I said, I've had all challenges with my children. And the only thing that I was able to do is to find programs like yours, Brother Shahid. Just over the years, I just had to figure it out myself and find other mechanisms. But because you got such a great program and how you teach and the way you teach, I applaud you. And I really wish that, you know, during that time when my children were small, that I had access to you. But at this point, we were able to overcome and we're in a better place. But I just want to encourage everyone, if you have children that are acting out in class, it's 9 times out of 10, it's because they're not understanding and they're embarrassed. They don't want to say anything. And so that's when the behavior starts to become a problem. So if you identify, and don't let them label your child, just identify what the issues are. And it's the requirement. If your child has to be in those schools, right? It's their responsibility to get your children help and to identify and target and focus in where they're having roadblocks, so that those roadblocks can be removed. And then you can get programs like Brother Shahid to help them overcome those challenges. Because I have to tell you, I struggled in school with math, and I loved math at some point. And then once I couldn't understand it, or I hit a roadblock and I never got past it, it became a challenge for me all through school, all through college, all through when I got to grad school. It just was hurdles. And so I just want to say thank you so much. I hope everybody takes in this program that we had this evening. Go learn, go check out the websites, Brother Shahid's tutoring sessions, anything that you can do, because I think you made a great point now in my comment here, is that mathematics, it helps you to understand how to solve problems. If you don't know how to solve the problem, then you stay in the problem. And that's
we got a whole lot of those, don't we?
Right, exactly. So I think once we learn how to do that critical thinking piece, it helps us to understand strategy, how to get out of things, how to make better decisions. in life about everything in your life. So I just wanted to say that it's critical. Please take advantage of it. Thank you, Brother Shahi, for being on the show. Looking
Thank you.
forward to try staying connected with you somehow. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Queen. And thank you for being a powerful parent. And Brother Lau and your Queen as well. We need more parents like that. And I'm sure, Sister Kalila, you didn't give any testimony, but I already know if you are a parent, you're a powerful one, and Brother Tony and your Queen. But I just wanted to quickly say this. I know it's hard, parents that are listening, and it's easier sometimes to put your children in the public school because you might be working, you're the only person in the household, but we have to understand we are in a state of emergency. You are better off taking that child out of the school, either homeschooling them, hooking them up with Asiatic minds, because the infiltration of Satan is all through the school. They are being taught about men that are supposed to be women. They're being taught about changing your body parts. They're being taught about, do you really think that you're a girl or could you be a boy? I mean, all that type of madness is going on in these schools. So they're not just getting educated academically, but they're getting poisoned into perversions of every aspect of Satan's mind.
Every aspect of Satan's mind, fam.
Every. So I'm telling you, I know it's hard, and I know what you're saying. Well, you don't know. I got 5 jobs and so forth. But if you love your children, get them the hell out of Satan's school if you can. Bottom line, I got to be straight and forward with it because it's that serious. Our children are being transformed right before our eyes. Look at Dwayne Wade's son. Look at Magic Johnson's son.
Right.
And I put them up on the PowerPoint when I do the manhood boot camp. I don't hold back. I let them know this ain't right.
Right.
You were born to be a lion, not a pussycat.
Oh, now I gotta do it. I gotta do it, Doc. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Every once in a while, we gotta shame our parents, brother. Shame on you. Don't mind me, Doc. I'm gonna be real quick on this one. Shame on you, parental and religious hypocrites who are afraid to stand on the reality of man and woman, and you have allowed our whole community to fall into an abyss to not even know what's right from wrong. And you know better, and you won't open up your mouth, silly rabbit. I had to get that out of my system.
And you know what? This is for the fear factoring in regards to getting your children out of the public school system to a online curriculum. How would they, if parents are interested, like, hey, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, Johnny coming back and he, instead of using educational words, he's using slang words and he's getting it all from the school. How would a parent take their child out of the public school system and actually convert them into an online program?
All I can say is Nike.
Just do it.
Just do it. All you got to do. Go to the school. We thank you for getting my child this far. May Allah continue to bless you. Snatch their behind out of the school. But then you have to be a parent and you have to create an environment. You can't just put them on Asiatic minds and then you go about your business.
No,
you had
play your part.
We've had the children. We've got to take up the responsibility. So you have to be there with that child. I have one beautiful young boy. He's one of my top math students. His mother is with him every day, sitting right next to him. I know you're saying that's not me. I can't do that. I got to go to work. But it has to come to the point where you value your child. You value your child over your own life because that's how serious it is. So just snatch them out of the public school, set up a learning center in your home, in your apartment, and go ahead and let Asiatic Mind do it. If you want to do it and be the homeschool person, or if there's a sister that is able to do maybe 3 children in her home, 5 children in her home, that's where a lot of the homeschools start.
Man, get out of our life, Doc. Get up out of our life, bro.
Sister Ashley, I know you listening. Sister Ashley, 10-4 breaker 919er. Ashley, I already know. You already know what time it is, Sister Ashley.
And she got a beautiful child there.
Yeah, that's my godson. That's my godson.
Oh.
And he's smarter than a whip. Smarter than a whip. You heard it? Yes, ma'am. So we're going to hear and obey. Okay. Yes, sir.
I want to end off my commentary tonight with a quote from Frederick Douglass. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And our children in the system are becoming broken, and we have to do everything that we can to get them out of that madness. And I teach in public school.
Only for historical sake and point, and because of the conference that Brother Shahid is having, that quote, he actually said boys. He didn't say children. You know, he was specifically talking about our boys and how they will become broken men if we don't do these things that we're supposed to do.
Wow. And there are a lot of broken men.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Walking zombies all over the planet. Send me that quote.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
What say you last to our people tonight, my dear brother?
Man, I just want to thank you all for having this program. You all are part of the ministry of education. This is another form of education. May Allah bless you all, shower rewards on you all, protect you all and your family so you can continue to do this, because you're touching lives all over the planet, whoever's watching this, and this is a form of education, and it's a form of doing the mission, coming out of the mosque and going into the world. You're just doing it via, is this the Zoom? No, not Zoom, but whatever this via is.
The new one, Zoom, StreamYard, your yard, my yard, wherever we are, my brother.
Come on.
Humble by
and I see they put up Torchlight Academy or Torchlight. Which one was that? Another
Elevated Spaces.
Oh yes, Elevated Play. That's in New York.
In NOI, New York.
Oh, those are different schools. Okay,
different schools.
Yeah.
All have online programs.
So I mean, it's out there, and there's a homeschool network for Black parents. Just look it up on Google. That'll help you all that want to be parent. I mean, that want to be parent. That want to be homeschoolers.
You said it right, brother. No, you said it right. They want to be parents.
Yeah, we got to learn how to be a parent.
Yeah, we got to learn how to be one.
We need a parenting institution. But I'm not going to talk any longer because you all have been patient, and I don't want to be one that takes the time that you all supposed to have. So I just thank you all for the invitation. If you're in the area, please bring those young men to Chicago if you can get there at June 11th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm telling you, they'll get something to help them in their development, help them be better boys, help them be better young men in your house, particularly if you're a mother and you don't have the father there. Bring them, and we'll do our best to give them something to get them on the road of respecting you, wanting to protect you, and honoring the mother, because that's what we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan. Thank you all. May Allah bless each and every one of you. Love y'all much.
Bless you, my brother.
Love you more.
Look forward to bringing you here to Miami, sir.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it. We got to make it happen.
Save us.
We got the shirt.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get my shirt. All right, family. Assalamu alaikum. Y'all take care.
Sir. Oh, boy.
I mean, we made all of our closing remarks, didn't we? I mean,
we good.
Good.
What's the tree of the week, Brother La?
Is it education?
Tree of the week.
Is it saving our? Look at that. Reading is functional. So read.
Fundamental. How about that? Reading is
both. It's functional and fundamental. Right.
There you go.
And keep in mind, let me explain why. Because reading is math. There are things that you have to develop in yourself that you have to read in order for you to solve a problem. A lot of us are not even picking up books. We'll pick up our phone before we'll pick up a book.
That's right. That's true.
Now they have made it, convenient in regards to audio books and so forth, and that is great. But to actually start moving these dorsifines in your brain, you have to start reading. You have to start educating yourself in order for you to educate your children. Sometimes our children don't come to us because we're not educated. I'm just being honest.
Right.
I done had a conversation with my daughter. Oh, that's not what that's not what the teacher said. I said, let me tell you. I care about what the teacher said, but what I said takes rulership over the teacher.
Wow. And Sister Kalila, what you said here with this tree of the week, see, you did it again. You know, number one, in terms of saving our sons, for those who don't know, 88 to 90% of our black men that are locked up in prison, they're functionally illiterate.
That's right.
Functionally illiterate. 88%. And there's a little quote, you know, a lot of people come to us, Sister Kalila, after their boys are dead. I'm just keeping it 100, right?
Wow.
Right.
And
That is true.
It gave me this little rhyme that ties into the tree of the week, you know, and it says we got to read to succeed or we'll continue to bleed. We bleed from the mind before we bleed from the body. Pick up a book and read, somebody.
I love that. Yeah, that's a mic drop. That's a mic drop.
One thing I wanted to say about mathematics, because we spoke a lot about mathematics tonight, that is the original language of the universe. And because when we don't take time to read and we to apply what we're learning, what we find is that we become very illogical. Logic is it comes from the branch of mathematics. And so we have to become a logical and mathematical people once again, and not allow emotion to rule over us. See, feelings and emotions are good indicators, but they're horrible decision makers. We have to become
another one.
Mathematical people again, growing into the thinking of God Himself.
Beautiful.
One thing I got to
I
say
can't come
after that,
behind
family,
that.
Ain't nobody gonna come behind that. That was good.
Hey, family, look, we're not a clique, we're not a crew. Y'all know we love you.
You're gonna
but
do
y'all
it.
know who we are, right? Series Coalition!
Yes. Do the fingers, but loud with the fingers. Love y'all all. Have a wonderful night.